Hello, friends. The crew of a Turkish cargo ship witnessed how the Russians, in their desperation to protect against the wave of attacks that are decimating their ships in the Black Sea, have begun to use Kamov K-52 Alligator attack helicopters to intercept Ukrainian FP-1 attack drones, which continue to target ships trying to approach Russian ports. I think it would be pretty fun to install a couple of Stinger missiles on some of the Ukrainian drones, just to make Ivan the Aviator's interception missions a bit more exciting. Although I'd settle for a couple of Magura naval drones lying in ambush for them, equipped with Sidewinder infrared missiles. What a great light show that would be. A Russian attack drone patrolling the gray zone came across a Ukrainian ground drone carrying 6 attack mosquitoes, which had hidden in a small grove while waiting for some unsuspecting invader to pass by. Unfortunately, the robot and the swarm it was carrying were destroyed, but it gives us a clear example of how the defenders are trying to launch their attack drones as close to the front as possible to maximize their range as much as possible in Ivan's rear. In a demonstration of how little the front has actually advanced, the defenders of the Pistashka unit, or birds, show the high-quality video feed that one of their mosquitoes managed to capture while moving through the streets of the destroyed city of Bakhmut. The Raider was an attack drone equipped with a 50-kilometer-long fiber optic cable on a combat mission. Since we can see the word armed at the bottom of the screen, indicating that it is ready for a close encounter of the third kind if it comes across any invader. Aside from the remarkable fact that the Ukrainian mosquitoes can still fly over Bakhmut, to me this footage is yet another example that contradicts that endless narrative from Russophiles, who keep telling us how their idols continue to advance unstoppably. Come on, they've advanced less than 50 kilometers in 4 years. On the Special Operations front, in this footage we see operators from the Spectre 33 unit, a specialized combat diving formation that operates under the special unit. Timur, from the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. Meanwhile, they are conducting a reconnaissance exercise with all their equipment in an area with multiple submerged obstacles. Spectre 33 operates as a specialized combat diving component within the special unit Timur, which is in turn an elite group made up of different, highly trained, specialized formations. They are famous for their complex missions of reconnaissance, sabotage, and direct action on land, at sea, and in hybrid environments deep within disputed or occupied territories. On the technological front, Ukrainian Defense Intelligence has confirmed that the Russian Federation has halted the serial production of its jet-powered Gerand 3 attack drones and has redirected all its industrial capacity to the production of the advanced Gerand 4 variant. This measure was forced by the increasing effectiveness of the defenders' interceptors and the density of the multi-layered air defense network that protects Ukraine. According to an intelligence assessment published this week, the Horde's production lines are now manufacturing the Gerand 4, which features a radically redesigned structure optimized to achieve higher speeds thanks to improved aerodynamics and greater structural integrity. The main performance improvements of the Gerand 4 include a maximum speed of up to 500 kilometers per hour compared to the 300 kilometers per hour of the Gerand 3. But the higher fuel consumption reduced the operational range to just 550 kilometers, which is half of the 1,000 kilometers of the Gerand 3. However, the warhead is up to 90 kilograms, compared with its predecessor's 50. Ukrainian intelligence services estimate that the unit cost of the Gerand 4 is between $170,000 and $200,000. A considerable increase compared to the previous model, which only cost $50,000. The higher price reflects the incorporation of Chinese-made Telefly turbojet engines. This change comes after a period in which Russian factories temporarily reduced total drone production to adapt their lines to the production of turbojet-powered systems. In recent massive attacks, jet-powered drones have already accounted for up to 50% of the attack packages, which has forced Ukrainian forces to rely more heavily on their fighter force, bombers, and short-range surface-to-air missiles, such as the Igla, Stinger, and Mister. While the Gerand 4 offers greater speed and payload capacity, its shorter range and high unit cost could limit the scale of the massive attacks that Ivan will be able to launch. Nevertheless, the rapid evolution of the Gerand systems shows the adaptability of the Russian defense industry, which is increasingly dependent on imported Chinese propulsion systems. This situation will drive the development and production of new systems and Ukrainian interceptor variants. Hopefully, results will appear soon. In the coming days, on the strategic sanctions front. In the early hours of August 12th, Ukrainian forces launched one of the most complex and far-reaching attacks of the war against the main Russian naval base that is still operational in the Black Sea, and against the oil and grain export infrastructure of the port city of Novorossiysk in Krasnodar Krai. The nighttime operation was described by President Zelensky as a unique multi-domain assault against a target more than 300 kilometers from the front, combining Palyonitsia-type jet-powered drones, Neptune anti-ship cruise missiles, and naval attack drones. The air and naval defenses of Ivan the Pirate responded to the attack, lighting up the night over the Black Sea coast with intense barrages of tracer rounds and beams from searchlights, as hundreds of Ukrainian drones approached from the air and sea. The battle footage showed intense anti-aircraft fire, interrupted by flashes in the air and on the ground, mingling with columns of black smoke rising from various parts of the port. In the morning, data from NASA's FIRMS satellite confirmed multiple fire hotspots in the port area, especially near the Sheshkaris oil terminal complex, the port's fuel storage tanks, and the facilities adjacent to the naval base. Ukrainian officials confirmed successful strikes against air defense positions, docks, and port infrastructure. An assessment by the General Staff indicated that the frigates Admiral Makarov and Admiral Essen, which are carriers of Caliber cruise missiles, a Buyan M missile corvette, and the patrol ship Vasily Vasilivkov were damaged. Other casualties of the incursion included a radar from an S-300 air defense battery, a mobile fire group, and infrastructure at several docks. The commercial port also suffered significant damage, including two of the largest grain terminals in Novorossiysk, which suspended their operations after suffering damage to loading galleries, elevators, and related infrastructure. The Sheshkaris oil export complex, a key hub for Russian crude oil and petroleum product exports, experienced fires and structural impacts. Novorossiysk is one of the ports through which a substantial portion of Russia's grain exports pass. Russia is the world's largest wheat exporter, so the temporary suspension of operations at the terminals immediately caused an increase in wheat futures prices on the Chicago Exchange. Significant damage also occurred in the city, and it was reported that more than 21 buildings had been hit by Russian anti-aircraft fire and debris from downed Ukrainian drones. Literally the day before the attack, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance had asked the Ukrainian government not to have its forces attack ships entering or leaving the port of Novorossiysk, a request to which the defenders agreed. But no one mentioned not attacking the port. Well played, gentlemen. Very well played. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our two new channels, where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries.
Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.